Hey guys, so in this video we're going to discuss how we can create an AI voice agent in using the conversational flow of Retell AI. So why is it helpful and what makes the difference between single prompt and conversational flow? So if your agent has too many logic and your agent have too many tools to run, then it might get confused and it has higher chances of hallucination if we provide it a single prompt, and it's going to make errors because if our single prompt agent prompt exceeds the 3000 tokens limit, and it has then it has higher chances of making hallucination. Or either you have three or more tools running in your in your agent, then it's going to make some kind of errors in that. And even if it has too many logic, like if you want if the customer is new, then to follow this path, and if the customer is old, then to follow this path, and in that also many kind of logic, then it's going to make some errors in that. So in that situation we are going to use conversational flow. If you have not much logic, but it's still making error, then you can try multi-prompt also. It also works well than single prompt. But in this video, we're going to discuss the conversational flow. It's highly reliable. In this basically we provide it steps to follow in the conversational. So we provide it the reason where you want to go, which part to go. So firstly, we if let's for example say the agent asks the person, are you a new customer or an old customer? Then we define the path. If they are old, then follow this path, and if they are new, then follow this path. And we will also define a single prompt in this. So let's dive in, and we are here in our Retail AI dashboard. Retail AI provides $10 in free credits, though, so you can definitely try that. And here are some templates also. You can try that out, you can check it out, and yeah, you can test this. So firstly, I will explain you what's every feature in the conversational flow. So let's create that. Start from blank. Let it be create. Okay, so guys, we are here in our conversational flow agent, and you can see there is a welcome node here. So it's basically the first sentence. So we start from here. It's the beginning node, and the first sentence the agent speak is this. This is the first node. So we define path in the node itself. So you can either have prompt setup, like if we set up prompt, it will speak different things based on the prompt. Let's say we want to say if firstly static sentence, if you want the agent to speak this exact sentence, then you can select static sentence, and it's going to speak the same sentence. But if we choose prompt and we say greet the user, and okay, so guys, now if we set up the prompt, let's say we want to set up greet the user and welcome them. So agent will not speak this exact sentence, but it will greet the user and it will welcome them. So just for a test, let's say we want to test it. I will just show you test chat. Okay. Hi there. Thanks for calling. Welcome. How can I help you today? So it didn't speak that same sentence. But if I set this to static sentence and now test it out, okay. Let's create a new one and test it. Okay. You can see the exact sentence spoken by the AI. So this is what's the difference between prompt and a static sentence. Okay. Now here comes the transition. You can name your node from here so that you don't get confused on which node is that. Let's say this is welcome node. Next one is the qualification node, or and anything you can name it. Just this is just for structure, and if you want, you can name it. And so here comes the transition. It is basically the path of the agent to follow. Let's say we set this to just for example, are you a new or old customer? Okay, we set this and we can define the path for them. Just a minute. Okay, we can define the path if they are new customer, and we can set this path. If they are new customer, then follow this path, and if they are old customer, then follow this path. Okay, and how we follow that? And you basically can do this by using prompt or equation. Equation is basically condition for that, and what you can set up condition based on the prompt. It's based on the data you have for the customer. So you can set that. We can just set up the prompt itself. Prompt works well in most cases. So here you can add the new node from here. I will just show you. Here in the node section, you can see out the node, and you can click here and conversation, and you can select here, and you can join the part from here, and you can name it anything. Let's say we want to name it collect details. Okay, and it is a if they are the new customer, then it's going to follow this path, and we can set up a prompt or static sentence. Same. Let's say we want to set up. Okay, what's your name? Just for example. Uh, okay, we have set up. What's your name? What's your name? Okay. So if they said they are new customer, then it's going to follow this path and ask them what's your name. And if they are old customer, then we can set up a different part. Just for example, anything you want to set up. Just this is just for example. I'm not building any kind of agent right now, but I'm just explaining you. So here, if they are customer and they tell what's the name, then you can define another path and follow here. Let's say we set up once they provided the name. They provided the name. Okay, we set this and we can connect it to different nodes. So when they provide the name, then it can go to the next node. Okay. Now comes the function tool. You can select function and you can add tool from here. Let's say you want to add check calendar availability tool, so to check the calendar availability, or you want to add the book on the calendar function to see whether to book the appointment in the calendar and update your calendar, or you can add a custom function from here which you want to use by using a webhook or something like that. You can use make.com for this, or you can use Anytend or Zapier for this. Let's say you want to connect this, and you can set up the tool from here. And just let's say we want to add check calendar availability from here. You can set up the details. Let's say we are putting random details here, and yeah, just save it. Okay. Yeah, it has to. Okay. Now we can add this here, and you can see a tool is being created. So if they provide name, then we can check calendar availability direct. It's not real as I told you prior, but just for example, you can add once they provide name, then you can ask check the availability in the cal.com in your calendar basically, and it can provide available hours, and you can set up these function settings from here. You can select different tool from here, and you can add if you want the agent to speak during the execution. Let's say you want to set up a prompt or static sentence. Well, let's say we want to set up prompt. Okay, just a minute. I am looking for available slot. Okay. So while it is checking, it will speak this sentence, and or if we are set this in prompt, so we can set this set in static sentence to speak this exact sentence. Okay, now you can set up the different transition from here, and you can set this to wait for result. And If you don't want to wait for result, then you can directly switch this off and it will move to next node. And you can set this to global node. I will just come to that. And block interruption. If you want the user to not speak during the interruption, you don't want the user to interrupt the AI while it's functioning this tool, then you can switch this on, and you can even choose a different LLM if you want. So let's say we are using GPT 4.1 in this case and for this whole agent, but you want a smarter model in this case. Let's say it's a reasoning, just for example, it's a reasoning node, so you want the agent to be GPT 5.2. Then you can select this. So just this node will be the 5.21 and the other nodes will remain the 4.1 agent. So you can set this up and you can add the fine tuning examples from here. So you can set this to provide better examples. So to train your agent, how should the conversation should feel like and what should the transition be. So you can set this, let's say if the user say, said that we can also move this, we can move the agent to this thing here. We can use we can add the agent above or the user and the user later. So okay, so let's say we want to add, okay, I see three different appointment, and you can add this sentence. I'm just putting dot here, and okay, this one works for me, uh, just for example. So once the agent provide the available slots, then the user can say, okay, this one works for me. Then it can transition to different node, and we can select the nodes from here which we want to transition. We have to add further node for here getting the other nodes. So that's why it's showing none. We have not added any further node yet. So we can undo that and we can save that this example here, and we can add different example from here, and we can even add more this kind of speech setting. If we want to add the user speech, we want to add agent speech, and we want to use function execution. We can do that. Yeah, that was it. And okay, now let's move. And you can do this same in the conversation node. And there are more kind of options in this. If you want the user to skip if you don't want the user to speak, let's say we have here, uh, okay, thank you for telling, and we don't want the user to speak in this case. We want this to go like this, and without waiting for user response, skip to this one. So we can on this function on this setting, and we can the agent will not speak this sentence, but the agent will speak this sentence, but the user will not speak. It will not wait for the user to speak. Okay, and global node, I will just tell you what it is. And these are the same things. And we can also add a different knowledge base for this kind of agent, this kind of node for this particular node to get the data. So if you want a particular node and you want to provide extra knowledge in that node, then we can add this knowledge base here. And the fine tuning example, there are two options in the conversation node. If you want fine tune the conversation, then you can choose this. And if you want the fine tune transition, then you can use this. Okay, now let's cross this, and okay, now let's move to other function, the transfer call function. So if you want the agent to speak first, so let's say they are old customer, and we want if they are said they are old customer, then we can transition them to a human, so they can and tell their needs to the user themselves. So if we they are not they are the old customer, then we can skip this to this transfer the call to the user, another agent or even a human. You can set up the number in this, and you can set up the speak during the execution, it's the same thing. And you can set up dynamic static destination or dynamic destination, which is basically the if you want a single number to transfer this all time, then you can use static destination. And dynamic destination, if user want reach is if the user want to reach support, transfer to this. And if the user want to reach sales, then you transfer to this. You can set up a prompt basically to set up the logic. If this is X case, then you can transfer to this. If this is Y case, then you can transfer to this. So that's how it works. And you can do cold transfer or warm transfer. Cold transfer is basically the AI will transfer the call without any kind of description for the user. And warm transfer is basically if you want to provide the details of the call to the other user, then transfer the call. And you can set this to retell agent's number, even to transfer the call to the other AI agent with to that number. And you can set this to user number if you want to transfer it to a normal human. And during the transfer call, you can select hold on music. Let's say we want to set up ringtone, relaxing sound, uplifting beats, or even none. So we can do that. And during agent connection, we can transfer the detect of human, or we can chat with the human. So you can select the agent from transfer agent from here. And yeah, you can set up the transfer timeout second from here. And just let's set this to and transfer only if a human answers. So if the voicemail, if the it comes to voicemail, then it will you can select this. If the voicemail comes, then the agent will continue speaking and do not transfer the call. Okay, now the after transfer connect. If you check this, then if the transfer is successful, then the agent can tell the user that the transfer was successful. And we like something that you can send add the handoff message in the form of prompt or static sentence. And if you switch this off, it will not speak, and directly the human can speak. And custom SIP headers, this is basically header if you want to add to it. And you can set this to global node. So global node, what is this basically? Global node is basically if if we set this to global node, if it gets stuck, let's say we have added something like this in this case. If they just a minute. We can set this to okay, what's your name? We can set this, and they are not comfortable telling their name. And we have set the transition once they provide their name, then transition to this part. But we haven't defined the transition for if they don't tell their name, then what to do. Then it will be basically stuck in the node unless you use flex mode. If you use flex mode, then it's going to go to other node. I will just get to this flex mode and rigid mode. Okay, so in this case, we have not provided the other transition option. If they don't provide their name, then what to do? Then the agent will stuck in a loophole, and it cannot transition because they are not even telling their name, and we have not even set up a, transition path for it. So, okay, so in this case, we can set up global node, and if it got stuck, it can jump to the global node. And it can also set we can set up the transition we can set up the just a minute, I will show you global node prompt when to jump to this node. So it even if we have not provided the transition to it this part, then also it can jump to this node. Okay, so we can define the condition. Let's say if they don't provide their name, then trans jump 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 to this node. Okay, so if they do not provide their name, it can directly jump to this node. Or you can even do some kind of uh, other prompt you want to select. You can do that. and you can add examples in it when to jump to this node and when to not jump in this node. You can provide the examples as I've told you in the example section when I explained it. You can choose the LLM in this. I have explained this already. Okay. Now, the press digit, if you want the agent to interact with the keypad in the during the call, then you can do that. So if you can is provide the instruction here and pause detection delay and global node LLM and fine tune example. Okay, now for the agent transfer. I will just get to the logic split node, but first let's cover the agent transfer. So what is this? Basically, if you want to transfer to any other agent in your retail AI dashboard which is available, then you can transfer to it this. Let's say once they provide, once they check this, the check availability tool, we can transfer this to another agent. Let's say they want to connect to sales, then we can transfer to this agent, and if they want to connect to support, then we can transfer to that agent. And you can set up here, let's say we want to transfer to this single prompt agent, you can name it. It will these are all the agents which you have in your retail AI dashboard, and you can in the voice you can see the agent which voice have, and you can select the speak during the transfer. Then you can select this if you want the agent to speak during the transfer. And the post call analysis, if you want the post call analysis data of the only the transfer agent, then you can select this. And if you want the it for both, then you can select this one. And webhook settings, you can this is basically the same to provide the webhook responses to which SMS, basically to provide the any kind of SMS to and the user. Then you can do this and use this function. Extract variable, let's say we want to extract anything. Let's say here in this section we can add connect this and extract the name from it. And once they provide your name their name, then we can set up a variable and we can describe it, and we can select the variable type in this, and we can save this. So it will extract the name and we can use this in the further conversation by using this. Okay. And now for the MCP, it's basically connecting any kind of tool with other like Claude or ChatGPT. Then you can use this. Ending is basically to end the call, and there are options speak during the execution and global node. So you can see that these are the already explained. And now for the logic split node. So what is it basically? In this case, if we set up, let's say this, if logic split, we want to define a path for the agent without them speaking. So we can set this like, let's say we set up a path if they provide their name. We can use the dynamic variable in this case because we have extracted this name in this. And remember, whatever you have put in the name, whenever you are using it, put it in a two curly bracket like this one. And we can define the part if they okay, just let me correct this. If they provide their name. Okay. So we can set this, and if they provide their name, then we can set this to go to this path. Or else, if they do not provide their name or anything like that, then we go to this part and end the call. We can set this something like this. And the agent, what benefit is this function tool we have from this function tool. So if you don't want the agent to speak while if you want to define a part basically, and you don't want the agent to speak while the execution or collect any details, then you can use this tool. And this is how it works. Okay. Now, in the main prompt, when you can see in the agent settings, we have the language selection model, whichever language you want to use for your agent. And you can select the voice from here: Cartesia, Minimax, OpenAI, and 11 Labs. you have four options, and okay, this one, and you can select the voice model from here, and you the flex mode and rigid mode. So we will just get to it. Firstly, let me define this. These are the basically the things. It's the global prompt, which it will be the data for all the nodes. This is data will be if you want the agent to what type of personality you want to define the agent, then you can use this, and you can define it will be all nodes will be having this prompt here. So you can add a global prompt. Every node will be using that, and you can select the LLM from here, the overall LLM which the all nodes will follow. And you can set up LLM temperature and structure output. You can add a knowledge base for all the nodes here, and speed settings. You can add all these details, all the speed settings for all, whole agent, and real-time transcription. These are all things which are, yeah, are there in the single prompt also. And post-call data extractions, security fallback, and webhook settings. You can set this. Okay, now for the flex mode and rigid mode. Rigid mode is basically it will follow a defined path. So if the agent, let's say, we select rigid mode in this case. So if the we have set this to static sentence, are you a no, new or old customer? And then we define the part. They say they are new customer. Then it will go to this part and follow the structured route. And if we in this node, let's say, okay, what's your name? And they said, I'm not comfortable providing you with my name right now. So we have defined the transition as once they provided their name. So it's not having the path to follow because they didn't provide their name, so it will ask them again and again and again their name. So we can it's basically the agent will get stuck in this case, and that's why we have set up the global node. If we have the rigid mode, then we can do this path here, and it can simply jump here and follow the global node and transfer the call. Okay, and if they provide the name, it will continue following the structured path, and that's how the rigid mode works. So flex mode is basically very free, and we get it's basically a LLM, a single model, single prompt agent only, but in with the defined paths it can even jump. So let's say in this same case they didn't provide their name. They said, I'm not comfortable providing you with my name. So we can set up in the global prompt, if they do not provide their name, then we can do this and that. So you can define that path, and it will even if we are not having that part here of the if they do not provide name, then also it can move to next node without that path. So that's why flex mode works very well for the real life AI voice agent. So I also prefer if you use the flex mode in the AI voice agent in your AI voice agent. But it only works well if you have less than or equal to 20 nodes. If you exceed the 20 nodes, then it will have high chances of hallucination, because it's simply it is not following the rigid mode, it's not following the structured path. So that's why it will have more hallucination because so make sure if you're using flex mode, then you keep the nodes under 20. And if you want to exceed the under 20, then we come to components here. So what is components basically? We can set up the components to get to a new flow. So we can connect this flow to the other flow. It's basically the same only, but we have defined parts. So you can set this. Let's say we have this here. You can see. Okay, now you can see here in the bottom left corner, you can see we have two flow here, the main flow and the component. So component, we can set up the path here, and it's basically the same as the main flow, but it's inner part of the flow. So what we can do here, let's say once they provided their name, once if they provided their name, we can define the path and we can follow the structure here. So why this works? Because if we want to have more more nodes and we want to use flex mode only, then we can use this to exceed the 20 nodes limit. So we can define the part here, and we can simply structure the agent simply in here also. And once we want to exit the node, then we can use the prompt and we can connect this to exit node, and it will basically exit the node and it will go to the main flow again. And we can define the transition here. Let's say we want to provide you can define anything here, like based on your case, and we can simply go here and move it to another component node or anything you want, or even end the call. You can set this, and remember, you don't have option to end the call in the component. So make sure it we have exit component node, but we do not have the ending call component, ending call function. So make sure about that. And you can even use flex mode or rigid mode in this. It's basically for only for the component, not for the your main flow. If you set rigid mode here and if you set flex mode here, then there will be no issue with that. And what is agent component and library component? So this is very great feature by Retell AI. So if we set up a library component, then we can use it across many different agents, and you don't need to recreate that. And this is very great for the Retell AI feature, because if we want to set up for a client, let's say, and we want to use that same component, then we don't need to build that again and again, that agent, and we can simply use this thing here. And you can see, I will just show you here. Let me just go to Retell AI again, dashboard. I've created this S1 component, S1 node, and let's go here in the folder, and let's say I will create one more conversational flow agent. Let's say let's use a template in this real estate lead qualification, and we created that. Okay, we are here, and in the component section, you can see we have library component, but we do not have agent component. Agent component limits here in this flow only. And okay, the agent component is basically for in this agent particular agent only. But library component you can use it across different agent, so you don't need to recreate that. And it is very amazing and useful feature by Retell AI. So this was the agent, and you can go here in the test agent section, and you can test it by audio or you can test it by chat. And remember, there is a note that transfer calls do not work in the in the test audio in the web call basically. And in the simulation, you can set up the test to test the agent. I've also created a video about that in my YouTube channel. You can watch that out if you are interested. So that's it for the agent today. And if you want any kind of agent for your business, then you can go in the first link in the description and you can work with me. I will understand your needs as per your business, and I will build an agent for your business. So that's it for today's video. Hope you liked that, and thanks for watching.